Well, that's a lot of interference in the background. There shouldn't be, but it sounds like it. You can't hear anything?
I can hear a little bit.
Can you hear it in the headphones?
Yeah.
Can you hear okay?
Yeah, I can hear okay.
Okay. Well, welcome to Extemporadio here on riverwestradio.com.
Extemporadio.
Yeah. This is Brendan O'Day. Welcome to Extemporadio. And I'm the producer of this show. The things you're going to hear over the next hour represent the views of Extemporadio and the people making them. All opinions and quotations in no way represent River West Radio and are the sole responsibility of the producer, the guests, and callers. River West Radio is not liable for any legal issues arising from the content of this program.
Well said, sir.
Thanks.
Well said.
Thanks. Yeah. So welcome back to Extemporadio after a week hiatus while we ran around and told jokes to people on Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday last week.
Working out in the bars.
Like to thank Rounding Third out in 63rd and Blue Mount. Like to thank Impala Lounge here on Center Street in Milwaukee, and Wits End on County Highway G in Caledonia, Wisconsin.
Nicest biker bar I've ever been to.
Been to a lot of biker bars, have you?
I've been to a couple. Yes, I have. Yes, and they were the most generous. I mean, they built us things. O'Day.
They were.
Yeah,
They're kind of crazy what they accomplished in a few hours.
I've had nobody ever do construction for me before a show. It's amazing. It was amazing.
They built us a pavilion that was previously wide open outdoor, and Tuesday was really the night that the weather kind of changed, and the fine folks out there at Wits End went ahead and built a tarp wall around their outdoor pavilion, installed an outdoor bar, put up a sound system, built a stage,
backdrop for us,
and threw up a backdrop, all in the course of about a 10-hour day. And that was about the most extreme effort anyone's made on our behalf for anything ever, really.
Yeah.
Now I know what you ladies feel like when we offer to marry you and put a ring on your finger. You know.
The only thing I could have used besides that was a red carpet. You know.
Yeah, and in a sense they kind of gave us.
Yeah, they did.
Too.
Yeah, afterwards it was nice. And
yeah, we were really treated
Jeff,
like
the
royalty.
owner out there, was incredible.
Yeah, Jeff and Scott are just
some of the nicest.
hard.
Some of the nicest tattooed gentlemen I've ever seen in my life.
How many tattoos did you see?
Numerous.
Why were you looking at their tattoos?
I don't know. They were on their neck. That's kind of hard to.
They're just kind of laying.
Yeah, kind of hard to not see the necks.
Out in the open.
Tattoos.
Sure, I hear you.
When are you getting your neck tattoo today?
When am I getting my neck tattoo?
You know, on Facebook they get like half off sometimes, like half off coupons. That's a coupon I don't think I'd want. I don't think I'd want. It's kind of like the LASIK surgery coupon. You just, some things you don't want to have a coupon for.
Yeah.
Yeah. That tattoo would probably be one of those.
Yeah, that's
for me.
Definitely. I'm definitely not big on neck tattoos at a discount rate. I want to get. I want somebody. I want somebody who's committed. Committed to their art, not committed to the best discount they can come up with.
A couple other coupons you wouldn't want to use for a certain thing.
I don't think I'd like the discount vasectomy. That's the one I stay away from. I don't know that I want somebody.
That's a good one. How about brain surgery?
Yeah, discount brain surgery.
Yeah.
I even get. When somebody does an oil change for $10. I just assume they're going to forget to do or intentionally not do something because they're like, hey, man, if you're willing to come in here and make us do an oil change for $10, the cost of the oil, even in the 55-gallon drum, exceeds $10.
Yeah.
They're literally, I realize they're doing it to try to get you to stop in, and they're trying to defray some costs
Well, they try to upsell you on everything.
Yeah, they're trying to pull you in, but and I understand that, but at the same time, I gotta believe there's a moment of the guy doing the work that's like, this dude's in here paying $10. I'm gonna loosen up his lug nuts.
I don't think that ever happens. I really don't. You know why? Because they have the checklist, O'Day. That's what the checklist is for. If there's no checklist, if you didn't put a check in that box, issues. Yeah. Other than that, if there's a checklist, I'm there, man. I'm all over it.
That's what you're hanging your hat on, is a
absolutely,
checklist. So when you go buy a car at a dealer, that 132-point checklist gives you great comfort.
Absolutely does.
Knowing that guy.
I have another question.
That's 130.
What is your oil change dude doing messing with your lug nuts?
That's what I mean. Your car's up in the air, right?
Yeah.
He's ticked because he's doing an oil change.
Oh,
for
I got you.
And by gosh, he's gonna make you
disgruntled employee.
He's gonna line up some lug nut loosening just to make sure.
So you think he would resort directly to murder? You think that would make him so angry that he would attempt to kill you?
Yeah, he could.
Really?
Don't you think?
No.
Don't you think?
I think there's a little paranoia there. A little bit.
Well, see, I don't know that they actually think it all the way through to murder. I don't know that they're sitting there going, hey, I bet this will kill this guy.
Well, lug nuts, taking lug nuts off a car could definitely do that.
Could.
So could. It's like cutting brake lines.
So could putting the wrong tube of squeezable liquid up in the medicine cabinet. But people don't worry about it because the chance it's going to happen is pretty small.
Squeezable liquid.
So,
that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Squeezable
liquids.
Squeezable liquid.
Gotta have your squeezable liquids.
I'm trying to think if I have any squeezable liquids in my bathroom.
You're not sure if you have squeezable?
I don't think I do.
This is a test run here.
Yeah. What?
I said it's a test run.
Oh, okay.
I said it's a test run.
I honestly can't. Lotion? Is lotion really a liquid?
Well, I'm thinking like a paste of some sort.
That's not liquid.
But what if you put like a preparation H up where you normally put your toothpaste, and the next morning you got to go in really super early. So you wake up early, and you get up there and you grab the tube of preparation H, you squeeze it on there, and you just start brushing.
I'm sure people have done that.
Yeah. And nobody worries about that. The preparation H people don't sit there and go, we got to change our formula and the way our tube works because somebody might poison themselves with our preparation H in their mouth. They don't do that. Because they don't think they're going to kill anybody. Just like the dude loosening your lug nuts, he doesn't think your wheel's going to shoot off. Your wheel, if they're loose, they're going to go, and you're going to come in.
How's that go again?
You're going to come in, and you're going to get the vehicle worked on, and it's going to end up costing you. And he's happy about that because he's finally getting his thing done.
Oh, okay. I guess I understand that. I still am confused about the tube liquid thing, but I guess you were referring to paste, so I'll forgive you for that one.
No, it wasn't.
Pastes are a totally different thing.
It wasn't paste. It was the fact that, yes, ultimately you could die by lug nuts being loosened, but the chance that you're going to die by lug nuts being loosened is very, very small.
Okay, I understand.
Whereas, and just like that, toothpaste is on a shelf. The makers of other products that squeeze like toothpaste don't worry about killing you because the chance that'll happen is very, very small. They worry about it so little. In fact, the only thing they worry about is the whole putting the label on the container.
Yeah.
They're satisfied that exonerates them.
Do you know that most of that stuff's edible, by the way? That's in paste form like that?
Is that something you'd like to do?
No, I know it for a fact because my daughter, when she was young, ate a half a tube of that diaper cream.
Mm-hmm.
And those tubes are big, man, and she ate a half a tube of that. I caught her in the bathroom, sitting on the bathroom floor, shoveling it into her mouth like it's whipped cream.
Wow.
Yeah, I got paranoid, and I called the poison center.
Yeah.
And they informed me that those warnings on there are over-exaggerated, meaning my daughter would be fine. There's no issue. I didn't even need to do anything with her. I didn't, need to hang her upside down and make sure she throws up or anything.
Exactly.
It's like, wow, that stuff's edible. Like, who knew you could eat diaper cream? Like, if there's ever a situation out there where everything breaks down and you have a daycare, you're going to be fine.
Go eat the diaperine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's the same thing is true of ladders. When you see a ladder that's rated at 250 pounds,
Yeah, I couldn't go on any ladder if that was the truth.
it's really rated at 500 pounds. It's
Yeah.
basically double whatever the current.
Same with the top step, right? You can step on the top step. It's not a big issue.
Well, that's still a function of physics. If you get yourself and your mass 251 pounds on top of the ladder,
Thank you, sir.
and the ladder's at full extension,
Yeah.
you're looking at that circumstance of where
Yeah, but
where you're going to have a pinion, where you're going to have a pinion point, and the ladder can collapse, it can tip over just by virtue of having the circumstance of too much mass above a certain midpoint.
Yeah, I got you. But I got good balance, so I'm not worried about that.
Well, as long as you're not worried about it,
No.
little buddy, you just go right ahead and
I
get
do.
yourself crazy.
Yeah, I
out
go
there.
nuts on my scissors lift I got at work.
You go nuts on the scissors.
Yeah, I do donuts and stuff.
That is awesome. Well, it's Monday night. It's 7 o'clock on Extemporadio here on riverwestradio.com. And we usually try in the first 15 minutes to talk about what we have coming up. And we're going to run out of time in another minute on that. But geez, coming up here, this is a busy month again. We've got new Extemporadio shows coming up on the 20th, hopefully the 19th, 20th, and 21st of October, mostly over in the Madison area. So if you know folks over there, let them know to watch extemporadio.com. I'm sorry, facebook.com/extemporadio, or go to brendanoday.com and look at the Extemporadio page on my website. You can also go and go to MKE Funny, the website run by Jason Evans. Go to the Wisconsin page. You'll see all the dates on there. But coming up on the 29th, September 29th, at the Stoughton VFW Hall, we have an honor flight show for the Heartland Comedy Express. Myself, Jason Evans, and Alan Edge will be there. Oh, I don't think Alan Edge will be there at that show, actually. And then on October 3rd, Wednesday, up at the Highland House in Mequon, Wisconsin, we'll also be doing an honor flight show there. So it's just it's busy. We got shows coming up. So keep an eye for Extemporadio sponsored shows and Heartland Comedy Express sponsored shows. You can see all kinds of good comedy. What else you got coming up? What do you got? What shows you got coming up?
I got a show coming up with Dobie Maxwell. He's going to be doing a benefit show for that cop that got hit by
Oh yeah, down in Oak Creek.
Yeah, I'm going to be doing a show. I think that will be the October 17th at Shank Hall, and all the proceeds are going to go to his to help his situation out.
Outstanding.
So, yeah, and then
That's going to be at Shank Hall.
Yeah, it's at Shank Hall.
Wow.
Yeah.
Do they feel like they owe him a show to compensate him
know.
for the C. Cardell Willis show?
I don't know. I thought this C. Cardell Willis show was great.
I'm sure the show was great. He was just disappointed with the turnout.
Well, I thought the turnout was great. I mean, I was there. What else do you need? I'd take up 2 chairs.
It's keen marketing insight like that that puts you on the cutting edge.
Well, that's why I'm
of show development.
That's why I'm a full-time booker.
That was awesome. So outside of a few shows coming up here, probably the other biggest announcement we have is that Extemporadio will continue with Jeff Lampton on crushradio.com in the coming weeks here, starting next week Monday, and we'll be back to a full show on Crush. We're also going to keep the show here on riverwestradio.com as they go to FM, so we can reach more local people here in Milwaukee and be able to provide a different type of a platform, or more expanded platform for the comedy of the people associated with the show and other things we're trying to get done and make happen. So
we're everywhere.
So we're pretty much getting everywhere.
Trying to blanket everything.
So
that's what I say.
Yeah. So otherwise, you can always find us Wednesday nights at Stage Right in the Miramar Theater, 82844 North Oakland Avenue. I just realized how many times I've said tonight. This is kind of rough.
That's okay.
The Or I said and I'm setting a record for and
I haven't said any of those.
You
Just
really haven't?
for the record.
That's great. Coming up every Wednesday night, we have the Malcolm Tents Presents Wednesday night open mic at Stage Right inside the Miramar, otherwise known as Wanamsrim. And you can see that, just a cavalcade of stars at that show. This week's Super Slot participant is Gray Dolan from Chicago, fresh off of a trip to New York and doing a bunch of clubs out in New York. So Gray's coming back, and she's going to pop in and work on a new 20 minutes at the Wednesday night open mic at Stage Right inside the Miramar. Oh, also, this is a scary one. On October 5th, Friday, October 5th, returning after a 5-month hiatus that involved a bar fight and a kitchen fire, we return.
Not in the same night.
Malcolm Tents returns to Lucky's on Layton, down on Layton Avenue, 789 West Layton Avenue in Milwaukee. We return there with the adult comedy show. This is a Friday 9 p.m. show. It is free, and the lineup is outstanding for that show.
Amazing.
It is just going to be outstanding. I'm just going to bring this guy up, and he's going to be able to listen to us while we talk. Just hang in there, Mr. Ford. And the show is going to be, I'm going to host it. I'm going to bring my friends Reverend Ron Swanson, Tony Tudor from Chicago, and Jonah Jerkins from Chicago are all coming up for this show. It's going to be a great time at Lucky's on Layton. We're very excited to get back to this show. And the guy that is calling in tonight and just called in tonight, we're gonna see if we can't cajole him into joining us on Lucky's on Layton sometime in the near future. Hey, Nate Ford, how you doing?
Nate Ford.
I am doing great. How about yourself and listeners of your radio station?
It's a wonderful night, man. We're happy to be out tonight. We're happy to be back on riverwestradio.com tonight, and you're are you working your way home? Have you made it home?
I have made it home late last night. The run of the shows were Mosinee, Wisconsin, then to Grand Forks, North Dakota, and then to Moorhead, Minnesota, for 3 nights at Courtney's Comedy Club. And then I had just a showcase show to do in Madison, Wisconsin.
Prolo comedy show?
Yeah.
How was that?
It's actually a lot of fun. I mean, not a great turnout. I mean, it was their last one there at that location.
Yeah.
I guess they got a brand new location coming up at an improv theater in town, which is going to be good for them. But it was the crowd was great, and the comics are very funny down there, and it just turned out to be a good little time. And then I took a limo ride back to Kewanee.
That is awesome. But the reason you were going Mosinee, Grand Forks, and Moorhead was you were part of the Saints and Sinners comedy tour this time around. Tell us about how was that? How'd that go?
The Saints and Sinners comedy tour, Matthew Lumpkin and Patrick Jolly. You know what? I love them or hate them. Those guys are just one hell of promoters, and they get their names out there, and a lot of smoke and mirrors. But you know what? They are consistently being booked and working as stand-up comics.
No, wait a minute. What do you mean? What do you mean smoke and mirrors?
You know, sometimes you gotta overhype yourself sometimes in comedy, and I mean, take a look at Dane Cook. That's how he made it to the top or whatever, and doing the things that he's doing just by plugging yourself away on Facebook, getting emails, and like, hey, I'm bigger than what I am.
And
you know?
Do you think that's the case? I mean, do you think you've? Wow, this is. I didn't know we would take the interview in this direction.
Can I ask him a question?
Yeah, please do.
Well, I mean, for the most part, it is talent too, but sometimes it's about the marketing to get your foot in the door.
Oh, sure.
To prove that you have talent, but some comics just think, talent alone will get you stage time.
Hey, Nate, I had a question for you.
Well, those guys are idiots.
Hey, Nate Ford, being the best comic in the world, have you ever used any smoke and mirrors?
I don't know. I in a way, I have. You know, just like Oh, I've performed on the Prairie Home Companion Show, which I've done, but it was a rhubarb showcase show that they do on a yearly basis. But I got to perform at the Fitzgerald Theater. Garrison Keillor introduced me. It was like a part of the Prairie Home Companion Show.
Okay.
But I can say, hey, yeah, that's what I did. I was a part of the Prairie Home Companion Show. I've been on Last Comic Standing seasons 2 and 3, standing in the snow in front of the Chicago Zanies Comedy Club. But I got airtime, 30 seconds airtime, so I can technically say, yes, I was on Last Comic Standing.
Yeah, there you go. Smoking mirrors.
But that sort of thing, and I'm always on Facebook as well, and just plugging away and spamming people with my events, and I'm sure it gets annoying, but after a while you'll notice one thing, like, what the hell, let's do it.
Yeah.
Well, that's, I think that's different. I mean, I think that's probably what separates a quality tour and a quality act is their ability to market, because quite frankly, the toughest thing is cutting through all the noise that's out there vying for that entertainment dollar and getting your message clearly enough stated to the buying public to get them to come out to a show. That's a tough feat in today's world.
Yeah. And they also send the venues where they perform posters that they professionally made. They send already made tickets to help them sell the tickets.
Sure.
They pretty much set the venue up for success, and hopefully the venue catches on that and also does the same thing.
Well, that's interesting, because Jeremy Dog Danley is probably the guy in our universe who most successfully has marketed himself, had a 10-year career, has made more than most averaging feature, or certainly more than any feature, but more than most guys that are actually touring and headlining after expenses. He nets more because he doesn't go that far. He charges a reasonable amount of money as a professional. He puts on an amazing show in that they want him back. Now, whether it's comic type material or it's just really heavy, just gross out bar stuff, whatever. I can't really get into the quality or type of material, because what matters is what is the consuming public buying? What are they demanding he come back because he did such a great job marketing, or are they demanding he come back because he put on a great show that they remember forever?
Yeah, and that's where the second half of the whole thing is. You have to have the talent.
Yeah.
And these guys are funded individually, and what they do at the end of the show is they go up and together and kind of tell a few road stories, and they also do a questionnaire at the end of the show. They put question cards on each table, also with an email. That way, they can get their email as well. But the audience can ask any question whatsoever, and they'll answer to the best of their comedic ability to answer the question, either funny, serious, or whatever. And It just gets the audience involved at the end of the show, and that's for most of us, that's why they keep coming back to see them.
Sure. Yeah, it becomes a destination. And it's kind of funny, Dog and I have been talking a lot about this lately, where you have to make the show something unique and special, and that's what these guys are obviously doing with their Q&A and their road stories. There's a value-added thing that these people that have now submitted these questions, and their emails are on the cards, and they've captured these emails. I'm sure these guys then continue to send out like a newsletter and content, and they make them all Twitter followers, or they send them their top Twitter posts over the last 30 days or whatever. And that's the kind of thing that just makes you go, that's a well-oiled machine. That's something that generates an audience wherever it goes. And the next time they come back to that town, all those people will know. And if all they get is if every other person brings one person, they've just increased that audience by 50%. So, yeah, that's a beautiful thing.
It makes them work harder, too, because they do have a lot of return audience members in some areas that they go to.
Yeah.
And so they have to keep writing new material just to appease them.
Sure.
You know?
Yeah, or just to make them feel like they're getting a new show, and again, like you say, that makes them better comics. That makes them more productive. Nate, do they sell any merch? Do they have a Saints and Sinners CD or DVD?
They have 2 CDs. One is their individual sets, and the other CD is just all of them at the end of the show telling road stories and
Cool.
and answering questions. They sell a shirt that says on the front it says "Lead me not into temptation," and on the back says "Follow me, I know a shortcut."
Nice.
And like even like the marketing behind the name Saints and Sinners, I mean their initial goal was to have like Matthew the family man, talking about kids and raising families, blah blah blah, and then Patrick was the rock star, painted fingernails, worshiping the devil, that sort of thing. So you kind of had the basic idea of who the Saint and Sinner was. But then I thought, you know what? Let's just let them decide, because Matthew dives into some dirty stuff, and Patrick dives into some clean stuff, and it's just like it's this mix and match. And
do they have a competition at the end that says, do you guys decide who do you think was the saint, who do you think was the sinner?
No, they should though. They should. And then I've actually been added to kind of when I'm on the road with them is added at the end of the show too, answering the questions, and it kind of it's almost like a vibe of the Rat Pack almost, to where one Dean Martin, Frank Sinatra, and I'm the one that gets beat up. Sammy Davis. That'll be the Sammy Davis part of the.
You're the Sammy Davis arm of the group there. Well, so how much time when you were out with these guys? How much time were you doing when you're in with these guys that are obviously doing a pretty good chunk of the show? It's almost like having 2 headliners.
Well, I've been doing about 10 to 15 minutes for each show.
Oh wow!
I took when I was at Courtney's, I did 5 minutes for the first shows, then the 2 show nights. Although one night I did 20 minutes by accident.
Wow! Why such a small amount of time? Are they each doing like 40 minutes, 45 minutes?
They're doing about 30 to 35 minutes apiece, and then the end thing is about 30 minutes.
Oh, there you go. So yeah, there's that third part of the show. So that does take up some time. Wow. So do you then host throughout the whole night on top of doing the intro, or what do you do?
I just host at the beginning. Then he brings up Patrick brings up Matthew, and then I go up at the end, depending on what the club is and if they need any announcements done.
Okay.
Cool.
Interesting.
And at Courtney's, which was just a blast in Moorhead, they actually had a little treat for me. Jeremy Muller of Comedy Pro, who books that room and a few other rooms, drove up from Sioux Falls, Iowa, to see the show.
Awesome.
And just to see what I can do.
Wow.
And we had a long talk after the show, and I'll be pretty much featuring for him.
Outstanding.
Great.
That is fabulous. See, these things do have value outside of their own, out of the surface value of going out with a good group and having a good time and doing good shows. There is that opportunity to occasionally promote yourself and turn it into something. That's great.
Yeah.
And in fact, we had a really long conversation about the booking end of things and just what he wanted for comics. I don't know if it was like a line or if he told this to everybody, but when he had all these rooms, at one point in time he had pretty much 6 weeks of work for comics.
Okay.
And he wanted to know what it was like to be a comic, so he drove the week on a whole week basis, or maybe it was a week and a half. He drove to each gig.
Okay.
Just to check, went to one gig, checked out the show, went to the other gig, checked out the show, just see how it's like for a comic, traveling from one-nighter to another one-nighter to a comedy club to whatever.
Sure.
And he goes, I did that 3 times in my lifetime as a booker, never again.
Wow.
And so he tries to get the best amount of money or whatever, best ideal situation for each comic.
Wow.
That's cool.
So what? When do you think that's going to translate into something? Or have you guys already set some dates, or what's going on?
I'm just emailing him right now, and with my avails and stuff like that, and we'll go from there.
Awesome. That's great news for you, Nate.
Yeah, it was a good time.
Crazy how all that works out sometimes. So what does that then mean for Nate Ford's winter fall season here? Where can people see you? Do you have anything right now booked for the area for anything upcoming? What's up on your schedule?
You know what? It's really open right now at this point in time. This Saturday I'm going to be in Duluth at the Dublin Pub and Grill. It's a funny business gig. And
I just heard a great story about the Dublin Pub and Grill, the Yoder room that is the Dublin Pub and Grill.
And speaking of Jared Dog, I'm the headliner that evening is Josh Alton, who used to travel with Jared Dog.
Yeah, exactly. And Jared Dog was supposed to headline that room not too long ago. And he had a very great innovative marketing scheme to bring more people into it, and they freaked out at his innovative marketing scheme and panicked and dropped him from the room.
Wow.
Yeah, so he's pretty much done with the very honest and straightforward speaking John Yoder and his son Eric, who we had here on this show. And basically what Eric Yoder told us on this show that he would never do, he absolutely did exactly that to Jared Dog Danley. So he's a booker. He's a booker in the truest sense of the word. And so just, you always get to watch what you're doing and what your expectations are with a guy like that. So I'm chronically amazed, and I can't help but come down on the comedian side of things. And when I step back and look at it as a business guy, I still come away just shaking my head of why these guys do what they do. They know they're dealing, as our good friend Dobie Maxwell says, with dented cans. They know they're dealing with people who are kind of messed up and will put up with a disproportionate amount of garbage. And we just it's an unfortunate thing that they take advantage of seemingly every day. So it's unfortunate.
Well, the unfortunate thing is that even if you have let's say a union within comedy or whatever, there's still scabs out there that are willing to go out there and do any show for 25 cents just for the stage time because they want the experience. Not to name any names, Greg Willett, and they'll just go out there and do that. And so it just ruins the chance of people who actually want to do this as a living, who can't do it for 25 cents. They need to make some money, at the end of the run, Right. But it's just that is it physically possible with all these people thousands of people who just want to be on TV, or people who are doing it as a hobby, just like, well, I'm just doing it as a hobby, so I'll just do it for that low amount of money. Right. And and then somebody with talent and skills go in, hey, I like to do a show here. This is what I charge. Well, forget that, because so-and-so just did it for this amount. Well, I'm not so-and-so.
Yeah, and so-and-so gave us 10 comics. You only give us...
Yeah, exactly.
He found 10 crappy comics that can go up and...
He stacked the room.
Yeah, just send 7 comics in the middle of nowhere, Freeport, Illinois, and each get $25. Yeah, that's going to cover the gas if you live in Montana.
Yeah. Jeez.
But so that's the other part of the marketing thing that comics should know too is be smart about what you pick as a show. You don't have to do all the shows that the booker gives you. You say, you know what, that's not financially feasible. I'll go on working at my day job until there's a show that actually fits the monetary thing to help me out.
Well, exactly, and we obviously we deal with that a lot down here. Comics that will or I guess I've been that the idea of this whole union thing has come from a post on MKE Funny by a touring comic that's based here in Milwaukee, James Irvin Berry, and this idea that there should be a comics union. I don't know that I'm empirically even in favor of something like that, because comedy is a very solitary universe. I believe in an association where if you identify as a comedian and you meet certain minimums, let's say you made 20 grand in a year or whatever, and you want to qualify as a professional comedian or whatever, you would be able to be part of the association. There might be some nominal annual dues, but not like a union where it's taken out of every show you perform in, but something like a $50 a year or $25 a year, and you would have access as a group to buy health insurance or to participate in investment programs that are available only to larger groups. You know, those kind of things. You know, it's almost like that's how medical groups and dental groups handle it. Is they have professional associations that even if you're a little dentist on Center Street in Milwaukee, you're part of the Milwaukee Midwestern Dental Association, and that's how you're able to get really favorable health insurance rates for your office staff of 4, which if you went out and bought that yourself, you'd be paying $1,000 a month per person. But instead, if you're part of a group of 20,000 people, you now can go get that insurance, same insurance, for $450, because the administrative costs of it are so much reduced. Now they'll have limited enrollment. You know, if you join the company, you can only enroll in the first 30 days or on the anniversary date or things like that. They'll make conditions like that. But if that saves you $500 a month, of course you're going to accept some minimal conditions that allow them to save and have savings of administrative costs that make it worthwhile. So things like that, I think, would be valuable to comedians. I don't think this idea of that we're going to go with, hey, let's all pay union dues and have representatives who go out and do stuff. So it's just, it's that kind of a thing.
Because even unions can't guarantee, you getting booked 365 days a year. You are in control of your own destiny, your own career in comedy. You just have to make those smarter decisions. I don't think 50 comics together in one room can make that right decision for you.
Right, exactly right. But as far as the point where I was going was, when you get to that idea of scabs, is that I am chronically amazed at what people who are past significant headliners who are willing to work for what amounts to next to nothing. Just for the stage time. I mean, it's awfully nice that they want to help out and maybe help a group get going, but when a group's been going at it and doing things for a couple of years and they're still booking people for $30, $40, $50 a show that are for people that are national headliners, that's mind-boggling to me. I have the Lucky Show coming back, which I'm sure we're going to be able to make you a part of, but we actually had to, because they're still struggling since the fire, we had to pull the budget back. And I said to him, look, on a Friday night, you tell right to my face, you say, we want a really big name so we can really kick this out of the park, but we're going to give you less money for it. And it's just, I'm like, do you understand? I know you're not stupid. There's no way that you don't know what you know what you're asking me to do. You're telling me, hey, go call in a favor, get a guy to come work for less than he's worth.
Exactly.
And I find that appalling, so I won't do that. So I just changed up the show. I have 3 features and myself who are each going to do about 20 to 25 minutes. That's what we're going to do. That's what they're going to get. They're going to get a bunch of feature acts for $50 a piece, and that's what everybody's getting paid. And I went out and spent $24.68 on the posters for the show. So right now I'm working for half of the of my own take. So
and it should be that way, because because you've done shows there before, and
they know what the product is.
You brought up the attendance.
Yep.
Whether it be just a fluke or not, you brought up the attendance, and if they don't see that, it's like you just bumped in sales.
Yeah.
If you bring in a big name like Dave Chappelle, he's not going to do it for $50. But if you bring him at his price, you're going to sell out in a heartbeat.
Exactly.
And you're going to sell all the booze that night.
Yeah, you're going to sell all the booze. Exactly. Yeah. So that's trying to get that idea to these guys. That becomes a challenge. So we did look at a couple other. I had already booked one of the features and went, maybe I'll try and pull in a Chris Barnes or Adobe Maxwell or somebody and see if they can do it for $100. And I just, I sent a message to Chris, and before I even had other people confirmed, I just sent a message back to him and I just said, you know what? No, I'm not going to ask you to come and work for that kind of money. I don't want to be the guy that asks 30-year veteran Chris Barnes or 28-year veteran Chris Barnes to come and work for $100. I don't want to. I want to bring Chris Barnes back when I can still feel crappy and go, here's $150, man. This is, that's what I'm
same situation that I'm in. I worked at the Comedy Corner in Nina for years as a house MC, house bitch, whatever you want to say. I was living, breathing Comedy Corner. Then I moved away, became a feature act in a way in their eyes, sort of, kind of. Yeah. Traveling as a feature act, and the last 2 times I featured there at the club, they gave me what they like to call a local feature pay, which is half the amount of what a feature should get paid.
Sure.
That's ridiculous.
Now, I actually, it's a comedy club, and I'm featuring and working with great talent, but is it worth it moving forward to the next position when they don't even credit as moving up to the next position in comedy?
Right. Yeah.
It's like why did I work my ass off so much to get to that level? And they're like, oh, you know what? Here's another little hoop, a fire for you to jump in through before you actually get paid as those Dutch.
Exactly. Oh, exactly. It's to me it's so insulting that they even have that. That they make that decision. They're the club, if anybody's not familiar, they're the club that pays their hosts in gift cards with the assistance of Nate Ford and a lot of alcohol. I was able to cajole them into paying me 2/3 in cash and 1/3 in gift card, just so I could afford the gas, basically, to drive back and forth between Milwaukee and Neenah.
Their gift card doesn't pay for gas, O'Day?
Well, it's a gift card to the club, at which you buy the food that you can buy with the gift card at retail price. Yeah, no, of course not.
Oh.
So that was the idea, was that I at least would get some cash to pay for my travel costs. But that's just it. I'm still paying all my travel costs out of ridiculously low pay, what amounts to $25 per show, which is fine. It's not even fine to pay for somebody who lives right there. I still find that insulting and quite a bit low when you consider what that host is doing, especially in that place. There's some fairly significant mandates where you have to say you have to cover certain things, and it's somewhat draconian if you don't. And I just find that kind of continually hilarious that they. I even find it hilarious some of the people who are choosing to really, stay loyal to that place. So some of those people are people I have to work with in another capacity, and it makes me want to work with them less because they won't make any demands. They won't say no more. And they, as a group, they actually are a close enough group that I think they could actually make a demand, and it would actually potentially bring about some change. If they all said no, I won't work for nothing. I won't work for food, overpriced food. You got to pay real money, and I think they could actually affect some change, but I don't think they ever will. I don't think they're all strong enough to do that. So, anyway, well, gal dang it, Nate Ford, you've hung around with us here till 7:45. Thank you so much. That is awesome, man.
Thank you for having me on the program.
So, are you any chance you're coming down October 3rd to the Honor Flight show at the Highland House in Mequon?
Stoughton?
No, the Stoughton one is on Saturday when you're going to be in Duluth. But the next Wednesday is the Mequon Highland House. It's a Wednesday night show.
I'm available for that. Yes.
Awesome. We're looking forward to seeing you then.
That'd be great.
People come on out and see the comedic stylings of Nate Ford. I'm sure he will close that show out. Tickets are only $10. All the money goes to support the Fisher House, or actually I think that might be an Old Glory Honor Flight. Regardless, all your money goes to help benefit vets returning to their memorials, and that is a great, worthwhile cause. So come on out and see Nate Ford at the Highland House on Port Washington Road in Mequon next Wednesday night at 8 p.m., Wednesday the 3rd of October. And God dang it, Nate Ford, thanks for coming on tonight.
Take care, Nate.
Thank you. All right, we'll talk to you later.
All right, brother. Thanks, man. Hey, that was Nate Ford. What a great little way to end off the show tonight. I didn't know how long we were going to go with Nate.
That was great.
That was totally cool. So that's pretty much our show tonight. It's wrapping down here. Any last second plugs? Please go to mkefunny.com. Check out all the comedy in Milwaukee. Check out the wrap up that'll be being posted tomorrow on the Milwaukee's Midwest Funniest Competition. 1111 Presents put that on. Finals were held Saturday night at the Rosebud Theater in Wauwatosa. And now you can go to 889 RadioMilwaukee.com. It's actually RadioMilwaukee.com, and vote for one of your two favorite performers. There'll even be little clips of performances there on the website. You'll be able to listen to Jonah Jerkins and Ryan Mason and vote for your favorite comedian.
Absolutely.
So they are some good comedians and fun to listen to. If you like what you hear from Jonah Jerkins, remember on the 5th Friday of October, you can come to Lucky's on Layton at a free show and see our good friend Jonah Jerkins performing live right there. It's going to be a great show with Tony Tudor and Reverend Ron Swanson and myself. So, hey, thanks so much for tuning in tonight.
Thank you.
Jason Evans, thanks for hanging out tonight.
No problem, man.
Awesome. Next week, listen to us right here again on riverwestradio.com, and then switch over to Crush Radio right after the show at 9 o'clock, at 8 o'clock. From 8 to 10, we'll be on Crush Radio, myself, Jason Evans, and Jeff Lampton. So thanks for tuning in.
Thank you.
We'll see you again soon.